Ethan Wright looked out the viewport of the shuttle as Earth grew smaller behind him. At 12 years old, he was the youngest human ever to travel beyond the moon. His brown eyes were wide with wonder, and his freckled face pressed against the cool glass. The stars seemed brighter out here, away from Earth's light pollution. 5 minutes until docking with the Galactic Council station, Ambassador Wright, said the pilot. Ethan smiled at the title. He wasn't really an ambassador yet, just the first junior representative from Earth to the Council. His teachers had nominated him after he won the Global Science Fair with his project on cross-species communication. Now he would spend 6 months on the massive Council station, learning about the 17 alien species that made up galactic society. "Are you nervous?" asked Dr. Laura Bennett, his adult supervisor for the journey. "A little," Ethan admitted, "but mostly excited. Do you think the XL Naga children will want to play zero-gravity ball?" "I brought one just in case." Dr. Bennett laughed. "I'm sure they'll be curious about Earth games. Just remember what we practiced. Observe first, then engage." The shuttle shuddered as docking clamps took hold. Through the front viewport, Ethan saw the enormous Council station, a gleaming wheel of metal and light, spinning slowly against the backdrop of stars. The welcoming ceremony was overwhelming. Representatives from all 17 Council species lined the main hall. Some were humanoid, others utterly alien in form. The Council High Minister, Zex Coulter of the Vorchan delegation, stepped forward. He towered over Ethan at nearly 8 feet tall, with gray-blue skin and 4 arms folded in ceremonial greeting. "Earth sends its children to learn the ways of the galaxy. This is wise," Zex Coulter announced, his translator making his clicking language understandable. "The boy will be treated as a guest of honor." Ethan performed the greeting exactly as he had practiced. "Earth thanks the Council for this opportunity. I hope to learn from all your wisdom and share the best of humanity with you." Several of the alien representatives nodded in approval. But Ethan noticed some of the Vorchan delegates exchanging glances that seemed less friendly. After the ceremony, Ethan was shown to his quarters, a comfortable room adapted to human needs with Earth normal gravity and temperature. Dr. Bennett's room was next door. "Try to get some sleep," she told him. "Tomorrow you begin observation sessions with the Council committees." But Ethan was too excited to sleep right away. He unpacked his few belongings, a photo of his parents back in Portland, his favorite book of space stories that now seemed so outdated compared to reality, and the zero-gravity ball he hoped to share with alien children. He wrote in his journal, "First day on the Council station. Everyone seems nice, especially the Arcturus representatives. The Vorchans make me nervous, though. They look at humans like we're bugs." Finally, tiredness overcame excitement. Ethan got into bed and asked the room's computer to dim the lights. As he drifted off to sleep, he didn't notice the small device that had been planted beneath his bed, nor did he hear the faint hiss as it activated during the sleep cycle. At 300 station time, alarms blared throughout the human section. Dr. Bennett woke instantly and rushed to Ethan's room, but the door wouldn't open. "Emergency decompression in progress," announced the station's computer in its calm voice. "Override. Medical emergency," Dr. Bennett screamed. By the time the security team forced the door open, it was too late. Ethan's room had completely decompressed. The boy's body floated gently in the zero gravity, his face peaceful as if still asleep, but his skin was blue, and frost crystals had formed on his eyelashes. The official report called it a tragic malfunction. The Galactic Council offered formal condolences, noting that human children may be too physiologically fragile for extended space habitation. As Ethan's body was returned to Earth in a ceremonial capsule, few noticed the satisfied expressions among certain members of the Vorchan delegation. Even fewer suspected that humanity's seemingly gentle acceptance of the tragedy was hiding something else entirely: cold, calculated fury. Lisa Morgan stood at the window of her office in the United Nations Security Building in New York. Rain pattered against the glass, matching her dark mood. As Earth's Director of Interstellar Security, she had spent the last week reviewing the report on Ethan Wright's death. Something wasn't right. "The data doesn't match their story," said Daniel Crawford, her deputy. He placed a tablet on her desk. "Look at these readings from Ethan's room. The decompression wasn't caused by a system failure. Someone opened those seals on purpose." Lisa turned from the window. "The council is lying to us." "Yes, and the Vorchan representatives blocked our request for a deeper investigation." Lisa picked up the tablet and scrolled through the data. Her hands shook with anger, not just as a security officer, but as a mother. She had a son just a year older than Ethan. "Get me a secure line to the president," she said. President Eleanor Hayes received the call in the White House Situation Room. After hearing Lisa's evidence, she sat in silence for a long moment. "I was afraid of this," the president finally said. "The Vorchans have always seen us as a future threat. They're testing our response." "What do you want me to do?" Lisa asked. "Meet me at Andrews Air Force Base in 1 hour. Bring only Crawford. No electronic devices." The president's voice was ice cold. "It's time to show you what we've been hiding." The presidential helicopter took them not to a normal military facility, but to a hidden entrance in the mountains of West Virginia. Armed guards checked their identities 3 times before allowing them into an elevator that descended deep underground. "When humanity first made contact with alien life 30 years ago, we made a decision," President Hayes explained as they descended. "We would appear open and peaceful to the galactic community, but privately, we would prepare for betrayal." The elevator doors opened to reveal a massive command center filled with personnel monitoring screens displaying the entire solar system. "Welcome to Sentinel Command," said the president. "The public thinks our space program is focused on scientific exploration and trade. In reality, we've been building a fleet." Lisa and Daniel stared in amazement at the screens showing hidden shipyards on the far side of the moon, inside hollowed-out asteroids, and beneath the ice of Europa. "The aliens gave us their basic technology as a gesture of goodwill," President Hayes continued. "We reversed engineered it, then improved it. We have ships with capabilities the Council doesn't know humans possess." "How many ships?" Daniel asked. 57 combat-ready vessels. Another 20 nearing completion," answered a deep voice from behind them. They turned to see an older man in a crisp naval uniform approaching. Despite his age, he stood straight and strong. "Admiral Joseph Blackwell," the president said. "Officially retired 5 years ago. Unofficially, he's been commanding our secret fleet since its inception. We always hoped we'd never need to use these ships," Admiral Blackwell said. "But we've trained for this day." Lisa found her voice. "The public has no idea. Only 300 people on Earth know the full truth," the president said. "We've kept the fleet dispersed throughout the solar system, hidden from both alien observation and public knowledge." Admiral Blackwell brought up a holographic display. "This is our flagship, the Nemesis. There's also the Retribution, Vindicator, Justice, and dozens more, all crewed by our best, all waiting for the order." "What order?" Lisa asked, though she already knew the answer. The president's eyes were hard as steel. "The order I'm about to give. Admiral, initiate Protocol Ragnarok. Power up the fleet." Admiral Blackwell nodded and pressed his palm to a scanner. Authentication Blackwell Omega 77. Around the solar system, hidden bay doors began to open. Lights flickered on inside dormant warships. Crews who had trained in secret for years moved to battle stations. "The Galactic Council believes we're a young, naive species," President Hayes said. "They think killing a child will make us fearful and compliant." She looked at the screens as the first ships began to move from their hiding places. "They're about to learn how humans respond when our children are harmed." The hidden lunar base hummed with activity as Admiral Blackwell strode through its steel corridors. For decades, this place had existed in secret, carved into the far side of the moon, where Earth's telescopes couldn't see it and alien ships rarely ventured. Status report, Blackwell ordered as he entered the command center. All ships responding, sir, replied his second-in-command, Captain Frank Miller. Power systems at 97%. Crews report ready for duty. Blackwell nodded. On the main screen, small dots of light represented each ship in Earth's hidden fleet as they powered up across the solar system. Some emerged from asteroid bases, others rose from gas giant moons. A few had been hiding in plain sight, disguised as research stations. Open fleet-wide communication, Blackwell said. The comm officer pressed a button. Channel open, sir. Blackwell took a deep breath. This is Admiral Blackwell to all ships. For 30 years, we have trained for a day we hoped would never come. That date is here. The Galactic Council, specifically the Vorchan delegation, has murdered a child of Earth. They expect us to accept their lies and continue as if nothing happened. They believe we are weak. He paused, letting his words sink in. They are wrong. Today, humanity reveals its teeth. You all know your assignments. Proceed to rally points and await final orders. Blackwell out. Across the solar system, Earth's hidden fleet began to move. On the Nemesis, the fleet's flagship hidden in the rings of Saturn, Commander Olivia Patel watched her crew prepare for battle. The ship had been her home for 5 years, though officially she was listed as a deep space research scientist. Engineering reports all systems green, called out her first officer, Samantha Reed. Weapons hot, shields at maximum. Olivia nodded. Prepare for departure. The massive warship's engines glowed blue as it emerged from the ice and dust of Saturn's rings. The Nemesis was a sleek, dark vessel, designed for both speed and power. Its hull absorbed light rather than reflected it, making it nearly invisible against the blackness of space. Set course for Rally Point Alpha, Olivia ordered, and bring up tactical. At a nearby station, Lieutenant Ryan Cortez, the ship's tactical officer, activated his console. A holographic display appeared, showing the positions of all Earth forces and known alien vessels. Multiple Vorchan ships detected near Jupiter's moons, Ryan reported. They appear to be a standard patrol. They haven't noticed us yet. Olivia studied the display. At just 32, she was young for her command, but years of simulated combat had honed her instincts. They're not expecting us, she said. That advantage won't last long. Ryan nodded. The element of surprise is critical to the first phase of our plan. In the 5 days since Ethan Wright's death, Ryan had developed a strategy that would demonstrate Earth's power while minimizing casualties. The goal wasn't simply revenge, but to force the Council to recognize humanity as equals. I still can't believe they killed a kid, Samantha said quietly. What kind of civilization does that? One that's about to learn a harsh lesson, Olivia replied. The Nemesis accelerated, joined by 2 smaller vessels, the Defender and the Guardian, which had been hidden in the moons of Neptune. Together, they formed the spearhead of Battle Group 1. As they moved toward their rally point, Olivia received a personal message from Admiral Blackwell. She read it silently. Commander Patel, you will lead the first strike. Your targets are the Vorchan outposts in the Kuiper Belt. Disable, don't destroy. Show them our precision. Make them fear what we could do if we chose to be as merciless as they were. Olivia closed the message and looked out at the stars through the bridge viewport. Somewhere out there, the Vorchans were going about their business, unaware that Earth's vengeance was coming. Set course for the Kuiper Belt, she ordered. All hands to battle stations. The ship's alarm sounded, and the lighting shifted to a dim red. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person knowing exactly what to do after years of preparation. Earth's hidden fleet was awake, and its guardians were ready for war. Ambassador Catherine Nelson walked with perfect posture into the Galactic Council's main chamber. Her face showed no emotion, though inside she burned with anger. Behind her followed 2 junior diplomats carrying leather folders. The enormous room fell silent as she approached the speaking platform. High Minister Zex Calter of the Vorchan delegation looked down from his elevated seat with 4 eyes that blinked slowly in sequence. "The representative from Earth is recognized," he said, his translator making the clicks and whistles of his language understandable. Catherine placed her hands on the curved podium. "I come with a message from the government and people of Earth." The 17 alien representatives watched her carefully, some with curiosity, others with obvious boredom. "1 week ago, Ethan Wright, our junior ambassador, died on this station. You called it an accident." She paused. "We have evidence it was murder." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Zex Calter's skin changed from blue-gray to a darker shade. "These are serious accusations," he said. "Where is this evidence?" "We have shared it with select council members," Catherine replied. "But that is not why I am here today. I have been instructed to inform you that Earth hereby withdraws from the Galactic Council, effective immediately." Now the chamber erupted in loud conversation. A representative of the Mexari, small beings with 6 limbs and metallic skin, spoke up. "This is an overreaction. Surely we can investigate this unfortunate incident." Zex Calter raised his 4 arms for silence. When the room quieted, he spoke directly to Catherine. "Earth is young among galactic civilizations. Your emotions cloud your judgment. This withdrawal is foolish and will only harm your planet's development. What can Earth hope to accomplish alone?" Catherine smiled thinly. "We do not expect to be alone for long." She turned and walked out of the chamber without waiting for a dismissal. Council protocol had been broken, but she no longer cared about alien rules. Outside in the curved hallway, a slender figure waited in the shadows. Councillor Thelavine of the Arcturus Alliance stepped forward. Her pale skin glowed faintly, and her large eyes showed concern. "Ambassador Nelson, I wish to speak privately," she said in a soft voice. Catherine nodded to her junior diplomats, who continued walking, leaving the 2 women alone. "My government believes your claims," Thelavine said. "This is not the first time the Vorchans have arranged accidents for species they view as future competitors. 3 of our colony ships disappeared near Vorchan space last year." "Why haven't you challenged them?" Catherine asked. "The Vorchans control too many votes on the council, and until now no one has been willing to stand against them." Thelavine's eyes met Catherine's, but perhaps that is changing. Meanwhile, in the council chamber, Zex Calter met with his inner circle of Vorchan delegates. "The humans are making noise, nothing more," said Sub-Minister Kralvex. "They have no significant military capability. Their ships are slow and poorly armed. Their withdrawal is meaningless," agreed another delegate. "They will come crawling back when they realize how isolated they are." Zex Calter wasn't so certain. "There is something in the human ambassador's manner that troubles me. Send a message to our outposts near the human solar system. Tell them to increase surveillance." Back on her ship, Catherine received an encrypted message from Earth. The words made her smile for the first time in days. "Protocol Ragnarok initiated. Fleet deployed. First strike in 18 hours. Stay on station and gather allies." She composed a reply. "Understood. Arcturus Alliance appears sympathetic. Will continue diplomatic efforts." As her ship orbited the massive council station, Catherine looked out at the stars. The Vorchans and the council thought they knew humans. They thought Earth was weak, emotional, and technologically inferior. They had killed a child of Earth, expecting only tears and protests in response. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The Vorchan outpost on the edge of the Kuiper Belt was quiet. Its crew of 30 went about their normal duties, monitoring space traffic and maintaining the small research station. To passing ships, it looked like a scientific installation. In reality, it was a surveillance post that had been watching Earth for decades. Commander Olivia Patel stood on the bridge of the Nemesis as it approached the outpost. Her ship and 2 others had their stealth systems engaged. They were invisible to standard sensors. "Ready for phase shift," she ordered. Lieutenant Ryan Cortez nodded. "Phase shift ready, Commander." "Execute." The three Earth ships activated their most secret technology. The phase shift made them partly out of sync with normal space. They could now pass through solid matter for brief periods. This technology had been developed by Earth scientists who had improved on alien concepts the Council believed humans couldn't possibly understand. All ships, begin operation, Olivia said into her comm. Remember, disable, don't destroy. The Nemesis passed straight through the outer hull of the Fortune outpost. For a brief moment, the ship existed in two places at once. Then it solidified inside the station's main docking bay. Two smaller ships followed, appearing in different sections of the outpost. Alarms blared as the Fortunes realized they were under attack. But it was too late. Earth Marines in powered armor deployed from the ships. They moved with precision, using non-lethal weapons to stun the Fortune crew. Within 5 minutes, they controlled the entire outpost without a single death. Ryan Cortez led a team to the command center. The Fortune commander, a tall, four-armed figure, reached for a weapon. Ryan fired his stun pistol first. The commander fell to the floor. Secure their communications, Ryan ordered. Download their database. Outside, the Defender and Guardian took up positions around the outpost. Together with the Nemesis, they formed a defensive triangle. Olivia opened a channel to two other battle groups. First target secured. Proceed to objectives. Across the solar system, Earth ships appeared inside or near Fortune outposts. The pattern was the same at each location. Quick, precise attacks that left structures intact but neutralized all resistance. On the Nemesis bridge, Olivia received a transmission from Ryan. Commander, you need to see this, he said. She hurried to the command center. Ryan pointed to a screen showing files from the Fortune database. They've been watching us for years, he said. And look at this. He brought up a file labeled Human Threat Assessment. The document outlined a long-term Fortune plan to limit human advancement. Ethan Wright's death was just one part of a larger strategy to keep Earth weak and dependent. Send this to Earth immediately, Olivia ordered, and prepare to broadcast it on all frequencies. While the Earth fleet secured Fortune outposts, Ambassador Catherine Nelson was meeting with representatives from 7 alien species in a private room on the Council station. They watched in silence as she showed them the evidence of Fortune plans. The Fortunes have manipulated the Council for centuries, said Levine of the Arcturus Alliance. They eliminate any species they see as a potential rival. But what can we do? Asked a representative of the Mexari. The Fortunes control the largest fleet in Council space. Catherine smiled. Perhaps not for long. She activated a screen showing live feeds from the Earth attack on Fortune outposts. The aliens gasped at the sight of Earth ships using technology they didn't know humans possessed. Your species has been hiding its true capabilities, said Levine with newfound respect. We hoped we would never need them, Catherine replied. But the Fortunes left us no choice when they killed our child. Back in the Council chamber, High Minister Zex Calter received urgent messages from Fortune outposts. His 4 eyes widened as he learned of the human attacks. Impossible, he whispered. Their ships shouldn't be able to do this. He turned to his advisors. Summon our fleet. The humans have made a grave mistake. We will crush them completely. But as alarms sounded across the Council station, Zex Calter felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries. Doubt. News of Earth's attack spread quickly through galactic communication channels. The carefully edited footage released by human forces showed their ships using technology that many Council species thought impossible for humans to possess. It also showed the evidence found in Fortune databases, plans to limit human development and eliminate threats. The Galactic Council chamber was in chaos. Representatives argued loudly while others sent urgent messages to their homeworlds. We must unite against this human aggression, shouted a Fortune delegate. The humans only targeted Fortune outposts, countered the Mexari representative. And they used non-lethal methods. Levine of the Arcturus Alliance stood. My government has reviewed the evidence. We hereby withdraw from the Galactic Council and recognize Earth's right to defend itself against Vorchan aggression. 3 other species immediately followed suit. The Council was fracturing. On the far side of the solar system, Captain Martin Reeves of the Earth ship Vindication received new orders. His vessel had been hidden in Neptune's atmosphere for years, disguised as a gas mining platform. "We're going beyond the solar system," he told his crew. "Admiral Blackwell has identified a Vorchan detention facility on the small moon orbiting Proxima Centauri. Our mission is to investigate, and, if necessary, liberate any prisoners." The Vindication's engines glowed bright as it accelerated to speeds no alien believed humans could achieve. The ship was smaller than the Nemesis, but designed for stealth and speed. "We'll reach the target in 6 hours," reported Navigation Officer Heather Jones. Martin nodded. "Keep us in stealth mode. We don't know what defenses they have." When they arrived, the Vindication's sensors scanned the barren moon. Below the rocky surface, they detected a large facility with unusual energy signatures. "Life signs detected," said Science Officer Paul Chen. "Multiple species, including humans." Martin's jaw tightened. "Prepare a rescue team. We go in fast and quiet." The Vindication's phase shift technology allowed them to position the ship directly inside the main cavern of the facility. Before the Vorchan guards could react, Earth Marines deployed, stunning them efficiently. Martin led the team deeper into the facility. What they found shocked even the veteran captain. Cells lined the corridors, holding not just adult prisoners but children from various species. "They're collecting young ones," whispered Paul, checking his scanner. "Some of these kids have been here for years." In one cell, they found 3 human children who had been reported lost on routine transport flights. The oldest, a 10-year-old boy named Alan Gray, blinked in surprise at the Earth uniforms. "Are you really from Earth?" he asked. "They told us no one was looking for us anymore." Martin knelt down. "We're taking you home. All of you." In total, they rescued 42 children from 17 different species. The Vindication's medical bay was soon filled with young ones receiving treatment. "Send this footage to Ambassador Nelson," Martin ordered, "and prepare a broadcast for all Council species to receive." Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Samantha Wells was working frantically in her laboratory at Sentinel Command. As head of the Vorchan Communications Analysis Team, she had been decrypting messages found in the captured outposts. "I've got it," she told Lisa Morgan, who had come to check on her progress. "The Vorchans have been systematically eliminating what they call unpredictable younger species before they can develop. Ethan wasn't their first target, just the most recent." Lisa studied the decoded messages. "They've done this to at least 12 other species in the past century. Some were completely wiped out." "That's not all," Samantha said grimly. "They have a timetable for Earth. If we hadn't exposed them now, they planned a series of natural disasters to hit our major cities within 5 years." On the Council station, Ambassador Nelson received the footage from the Vindication. She immediately arranged a viewing for representatives of neutral species. As the alien diplomats watched the rescue of children, including their own missing young ones, the room grew deadly quiet. When the recording ended, a representative of the usually peaceful Solari stood up. "My government will support Earth against the Vorchans. This cannot continue." One by one, other representatives made similar declarations. The Galactic Council was dividing, and Earth was no longer alone. Admiral Blackwell stood on the bridge of his command ship, the Avenger, as the combined Earth-Arcturus fleet gathered near Jupiter. 57 Earth vessels had been joined by 32 ships from the Arcturus Alliance and smaller numbers from 5 other species. Together, they formed the largest coalition fleet seen in this part of the galaxy in centuries. "The Vorchan main fleet has left their home system," reported his communications officer. "They appear to be heading for the Council station. Estimated time of arrival: 6 hours." Blackwell nodded. "Send the signal to all ships. It's time to move." The plan was bold but necessary. While the Vorchans still believed they were dealing with a minor uprising, the coalition would strike at the heart of Galactic Council power. the massive station itself. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said Captain Miller. "Set course for the Council Station. Maximum speed," Blackwell ordered. The Earth fleet, using their advanced drives, would arrive before the Fortune reinforcements. The element of surprise remained their greatest advantage. On the Nemesis, Commander Olivia Patel briefed her crew on their role in the coming battle. "We will lead the first wave through the station's defenses," she explained. "Our objective is to secure the main docking areas and clear a path for the diplomatic vessels." Lieutenant Ryan Cortez pointed to a holographic map of the station. "I've identified the key defense systems here, and here. We need to disable them without causing structural damage to the station itself." "What about civilian areas?" asked Samantha Reed. "Avoid it at all costs," Olivia answered firmly. "We're not the Fortunes. We don't target innocents." As the fleet approached the Council Station, Ambassador Catherine Nelson prepared for her part of the mission. She would lead a team of diplomats and special forces to the Council chambers to present their evidence directly to the remaining representatives. "We have 14 species who have pledged support," her aide reported. 9 remain loyal to the Fortunes, and 4 are declaring neutrality. Catherine nodded. "That's better than we expected." The Coalition fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel just outside the station's defense perimeter. The massive ring-shaped structure loomed ahead, its lights glinting against the darkness of space. "Station defenses activating," Ryan reported from his tactical station on the Nemesis. "They've spotted us. All ships, commence attack pattern Delta," Admiral Blackwell ordered over the fleet-wide channel. "Remember your targets. Precision, not destruction." The Earth ships moved first, using their phase shift technology to bypass the outer defenses. The Nemesis led a squadron of smaller vessels directly toward the main docking bay. "Phase shift active," Ryan announced. "Passing through outer hull in 3, 2, 1. The Nemesis shimmered and passed through the station's exterior defenses. As it rematerialized inside the massive docking bay, Vorchan security forces opened fire. "Return fire, non-lethal only," Olivia ordered. Earth Marines deployed from the ship's hatches, using stun weapons to clear the bay. Behind them, more Earth ships appeared, securing a perimeter. On the station's command level, High Minister Zex Calter received the news with growing alarm. "How did they penetrate our defenses?" he demanded. "Unknown, Minister," a subordinate replied. "Their technology exceeds our intelligence estimates." "Initiate station self-destruct," Zex Calter ordered. "If we cannot hold the station, no one will have it." "That would kill everyone aboard, including our own people," protested another aide. "It is necessary," Zex Calter insisted. "The humans must not be allowed to take control." Back in the docking bay, the Nemesis suddenly rocked with an explosion. A lucky shot from a Fortune defender had hit one of the ship's critical systems. "Engine containment failing," reported the engineering officer. "We need to evacuate." Olivia looked at the tactical display. The other Earth ships were still securing their objectives. If the Nemesis withdrew now, it could create a gap in their defenses. "Negative," she said. "Get that containment field stabilized. We hold position." "Commander," Ryan said quietly, "if the engine goes critical while we're inside the station." She met his eyes. "I know. Start evacuating non-essential personnel to the other ships. The rest of us stay." As battle raged throughout the station, Ambassador Nelson's diplomatic vessel approached the secondary docking port. Her team prepared to board, carrying the evidence that would change the galaxy forever. On the Avenger, Admiral Blackwell received a dire warning. Vorchan fleet detected on approach. "They've increased speed. New arrival estimate, 30 minutes. The race against time had begun. Ambassador Catherine Nelson and her team fought their way through the Council Station corridors. Behind them came Earth Marines and Special Forces from the Arcturus Alliance. Ahead lay the Grand Council chamber. "We have 15 minutes before the Fortune fleet arrives," her communications officer warned. "And 20 minutes until the Nemesis goes critical if they can't contain the damage." added another team member. Catherine nodded grimly. Then we hurry. In the council chamber, the remaining representatives argued frantically. Some wanted to flee, others to negotiate. High Minister Zex Coulter stood at the center platform, entering final commands for the station's self-destruct sequence. The doors burst open. Catherine's team rushed in, weapons ready. "Step away from the console," she ordered Zex Coulter. His 4 eyes narrowed. "You are too late, human. This station will be destroyed in 10 minutes. Your victory will be ashes." A member of Catherine's team reached the main console. "He's activated the self-destruct, but I can override it with help." Ryan Cortez appeared in the doorway, his uniform scorched from battle. "I can help. The Nemesis is lost, but Commander Patel sent me here." She said saving the station is more important. While Ryan worked on the console, Catherine addressed the council representatives. "You've been lied to for centuries. The Vorchans have manipulated this council, eliminating any species they saw as a threat." She activated a holographic display showing the evidence from the Vorchan outposts and the children rescued from the detention moon. "They murdered our ambassador, a child named Ethan Wright. But he wasn't the first, and he wouldn't have been the last." Several representatives looked horrified as they viewed the footage. "Self-destruct sequence aborted," Ryan announced. Zex Coulter lunged toward him, but Earth Marines restrained the Vorchan leader. "It doesn't matter," Zex Coulter hissed. "Our fleet will be here soon. You will all die." An urgent message came through Catherine's communicator. "Admiral Blackwell to Ambassador Nelson. The Vorchan fleet has arrived early. We're engaging them now, but we're outnumbered." On the Avenger, Admiral Blackwell watched as the massive Vorchan war fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel. Over 200 ships against their combined force of just over 100. "All vessels, defensive formation," he ordered. "Protect the station at all costs." The space around the Council station erupted in battle. Earth ships used their advanced technology to good effect, but the sheer number of Vorchan vessels threatened to overwhelm them. On the Nemesis, Commander Olivia Patel made her final decision. The ship's engine containment was failing completely. There was no way to stop it now. "All remaining crew, evacuate immediately," she ordered. "I'll pilot the ship manually." Her first officer protested, but Olivia was firm. "Someone needs to guide the ship. The explosion can either destroy our forces or the enemy's. Now go." As the last crew members left in escape pods, Olivia took manual control of the dying ship. She aimed it directly at the heart of the Vorchan fleet, then engaged maximum thrust. The Nemesis streaked toward the enemy vessels, its engines glowing dangerously bright. Vorchan ships tried to evade, but Olivia's piloting was too precise. The flagship detonated among the tightly packed Vorchan vessels. The explosion rippled outward, disabling or destroying nearly half the enemy fleet in seconds. In the council chamber, a moment of silence fell as they received news of Olivia's sacrifice. "The Vorchan fleet is in disarray," Ryan reported. "Our forces are pressing the advantage." 3 hours later, it was over. The remaining Vorchan ships had surrendered or fled. Earth and its allies controlled the council station. In the chamber, representatives from 27 species gathered. The Vorchans were notably absent, their leaders under arrest for crimes against multiple civilizations. Catherine stood at the central platform where Zex Coulter had once presided. "Today marks the end of the old Galactic Council and the birth of something new," she announced. "A galactic alliance based on respect for all species, regardless of their age or development." The representatives voted unanimously to dissolve the corrupted council system. In its place, they established the new alliance with Earth as a founding member. 1 year later, at the center of the new alliance headquarters stood a memorial, a life-size statue of a young boy, Ethan Wright, with a plaque that read, "In memory of all innocent lives lost to prejudice and fear, may we build a galaxy worthy of our children." Near the statue, Lieutenant Ryan Cortez, now captain of the newly built Nemesis II, led a group of young cadets from various species, including humans and a young fortune. They placed flowers at the memorial, a symbol of